Hey guys, today we're doing a mix breakdown of a gospel mix that I did called Do This In Remembrance. We're just going to be going through each track and you can hear the processing that I did on each channel and we will go from there. So let's jump in. Okay, so I think to start out I'm just going to let you listen to different parts of it so you can get an idea what the mix as a whole sounds like. And then after that, we'll jump into the individual channels.
Eat of me. This is my body, this is my blood. Take this bread and this cup, blessed and anointed by God above.
Go ahead and get to the part where it's big so you can hear all the instruments together.
This is the symbol. Always believe within your heart. This is my gift of my love. Do this in remembrance of me. Partake of me and claim your liberty. This is to show my warning from me. Oh, do this. Do it in remembrance of me. Partake of me and claim your liberty.
Okay, so I think you kind of got an idea of what the mix sounds like, and so now we are going to go channel by channel or instrument by instrument, and you can hear what processing I did and just, what it sounds like soloed. So let's just start with the drums. And so for the drums, I always send my drums to a drum bus. So I'm going to go ahead and let you hear the drums by themselves. So for the kick, I'd say I'm 90% of tracks I'll split it into like a high kick sound and then a sub kick. And for the high kick, you can see it's just an EQ, highs boosted way high, and cut around 500 or 510, cut another big cut around 205. Then I low cut and everything to leave room for the next sub kick to come in. On this particular track, using trigger or plate to add in my own sampled kick drum, and it's at 90%, so there's still a little tiny bit of the original kick, but it's mostly triggered kick. also using the SSL console to kind of just craft the sound a little bit more. And then now I'll let you hear what it sounds like with no processing. Alright. And then we can go and unsolo the drum bus and you can hear the kick just by itself. And then with no processing. So you can hear it's really boomy. Now let's add in the low kick. And also on the high kick, there's doing some compression. Most of the time I use the Studio FET, like the 1176 model from Logic. I just like the way this one sounds. Okay, so now we can move on to the snare. Snare is also being the highs boosted a lot. Being pretty heavily compressed. And also limited. And then even after all that, I probably after going through the mix, I thought the snare needed a little bit more top end, so instead of going back and adjusting this EQ that was pre all the compression and limiting, I just went back and added another EQ to just get that little boost. And so here's what the snare sounds like with no processing. So here's the high tom, just EQ, boosting the top end, cutting a lot of the lows, and then just standard compression. And you can see my panning too. I don't like to pan the toms all the way, just because to me it sounds weird. But I just pan them at 40. Here's second tom. A lot of times I'll just copy and paste the processing from one tom to the next, just adjust it a little bit as necessary. Alright, I'll let you hear the toms before and after. So now let's add in the overheads. And then here's before and after. So just doing some compression. And one I notched out a frequency I didn't like. And then I cut the lows to keep this as more of like a cymbal mic and make sure none of that low end rumble messed with my kick drum. Okay, so now we can go through the bass. And on this one it just has an EQ cutting out a lot of the highs. It has the little radiator from Sound Toys just to add a little bit of saturation and drive. And then on basses I compress them super hard, so you can see there's, sometimes 10 plus dB of compression happening on the bass, just because I want them to be as consistent as possible. I don't want my bass to be wobbly or anything like that. Not a lot happening on the keys, just EQ and compression. Trying to get out some of the highs, all the lows, let the bass handle this area. And just some light compression, not too hard on the keys.
Forget it, never forget it. Do this in remembrance.
Next is the organ. And so you can see there's no processing that's being bussed to organ bus over here. Just EQ, cut out what you don't need, and compression. Just light compression though. And there's a few synth sounds. So on this one, just cutting out what I don't need. I love using the high cuts and the low cuts to get out everything that I don't need. And just making sure, there's no sounds affecting my mix that I don't want there. So that one just has EQ. And this next one, you can hear what they sound like with and without this processing. A few little sound effects, and then as with a lot of gospel tracks, there is a drum loop. So on the drum loop, I just didn't want any kick from that drum loop to interfere with my kick, so I cut the lows out, and I dropped the mids to kind of give space for vocals and other stuff that lives there. What I don't need. Here's before and after. So with room mics, it's fun to just smash the snot out of them and then slowly fade them back in with the sound that you like. That's the technique I use with room mics most of the time.
As often as you do this.
And so now we're going to move to the vocals.
This is my body, which was broken.
So typical Melodyne, and then I tend to stick with the Waves Renaissance whenever I'm doing my vocal chain. So start with the RDSer, catch the S's. Got your R, EQ.
Never forget it, never forget it.
I passed this one pretty high because it was a live track.
Never
serial
forget
compression.
it, never forget it. Do it in remembrance.
That's just because serial compression has always sounded best to
That
me.
was shed for thee.
Always fast attack on vocals for me. And ratio of 2 on the first one, 4 on the second one. And that's pretty much my vocal chain.
As oft as you do this.
This one they had 2 leads and then they had a choir.
This is to show my undying.
So for this choir, you can see I didn't do any processing on the actual channels. I just panned them the way I wanted to, bust them to this choir bus, and then here's what this choir bus sounds like.
Love for thee.
Do this in remembrance
Just using the standard de-esser again.
of me.
This Logic EQ on this one, you don't need to do anything crazy. And then got my R compressors on there, just like on a lead. Before and after.
Of me. Of me.
This is my body, which was broken.
That's pretty much the whole mix, other than I'm using the Vox verb, and I'm using the R verb.
Which was shed for thee. Never forget it, never forget it. Do this in remembrance. Never forget.
Pretty standard settings with that, not anything crazy, but I do like to EQ the reverb, so on this one you can see I
This is my
I
blood
dropped the EQ,
that was
dropped the
shed
highs.
for thee.
To me, the most important thing with the reverb is adjusting this pre-delay to make sure you're not just saturating the whole sound, that there's still a little bit of that direct sound coming through.
As oft as you do this, you away.
And then in order to give the whole mix glue, I'll always pick a room sound. And this one I just picked Concert Hall. I mean, Logic has, a crazy list of, it's not going to show it to me, but whenever you're originally setting this setting, it gives you a list of a bunch of different rooms in Apple's impulse response library. And then same thing with this one, I always adjust the pre-delay. And then you can see, so this is bus 5, and you can see what's going there. So the room mic is going there a lot, and then mostly the drums. Sometimes I'll send the separate instruments there as well, just to kind of blend them together, and then you can see the choirs go into that room sound as well. And then finally for the master, this is what's happening on the master.
From me, oh, do this.
So
Do
just
it
some
in
EQ. compressor, even out and balance it out. And finally, just the loudness. We have gain, logic gain going into adaptive limiter.
I do this to show you how much I love you.
The loudness.
My undying love for thee.
And then finally, this is my AB plugin. Whenever I want to AB the mix to different songs to make sure, just to make sure that the mix is consistent, and it helps whenever you have that fast switch from one to the other. You can hear differences in balance better that way, and then going to iTunes, pulling up a song, and then there's that lag time between hearing your mix and then hearing the other song. So this plugin really helps with that. And that is pretty much the mix. So if you have any questions about that, or you want to know any more, you can jump in our Facebook group, our MixChecks Facebook group. You can hit me up on MixChecks.com, where we do mix feedback, mix critiques. So, I will see you guys in the next mix.